Oh, people get in fights over this one. What's included with the sale of the house? So, this is something that we are very diligent to avoid, but sometimes there are misunderstandings about what's included when you buy your next home. So, I'd like to start off with the things that are customary. Now, of course, Pat and I work here in Florida. There's different customs in different parts of the country, but the standard contract that we use, I'll just read to you what things are expected to be included. And they're printed right into the contract. Ranges, ovens, refrigerators, dishwashers, disposal, ceiling fans, light fixtures, drapery rods and draperies, blinds, window treatments, smoke detectors, garage door openers, thermostats, doorbells, television and wall mounts, the television mounting hardware, security gate, and other access devices, mailbox keys, and storm shutters and storm protection items. So those are printed right in the contract. Now, of course, there's a line in there where you can exclude things, but here's where the problem happens. It's really twofold. One is just simple misunderstandings, but sometimes sellers will say one thing in the multiple listing service, but then when it's time to close on the house, something's different. And I'll tell you this, it doesn't matter what it says in the multiple listing service. The only thing that matters is what it says on the contract. So there's a section in there for you to write in things like the shed, for example. We don't know. Are they taking it with them or not? Well, if you want it to still be there when you close, you have to write it in on the contract. Some other things that are commonly disputed might be furnishings and things that are not permanently attached to the house. Now, what I mean by permanently attached is things that our little litmus test is if you turn the house upside down, anything that falls out is not included. Now, I know the refrigerator would fall out, but generally speaking. So I'll give you a few examples. One of our buyers was very disappointed when they found out the mirror in the bathroom was missing when we did the walkthrough. Well, it turned out the mirror was one of the kind that it's like a picture frame. You just hang it up on a little nail in the wall. It wasn't really permanently affixed, so it was fair enough that the seller was able to take that with them. But sometimes they'll switch out things, like switch out light fixtures. There might be some beautiful light fixture over the table, and then when they walk through, there's some cheaper variant of it hanging up there. So it's a good idea to take pictures of things when you're under contract, and don't just rely on the pictures that were in the multiple listing service. Like, we take pictures of the serial numbers of all of the appliances and mechanicals so that nothing can be switched out. We take pictures of any kind of fixtures that could be switched out later. You can't trust anybody in real estate, so we make sure that things don't happen. And really, I don't think people are often trying to rip somebody off. It's just misunderstandings. So I'll give you a few other things that are very commonly disputed. I mentioned a shed in the backyard. That's something that's commonly disputed. A workbench in the garage. Sometimes that's disputed. Kitchen islands. If the island is attached, it's part of the house. But if it's just sitting there, it's furniture. So make sure that on the contract, if you don't want that thing to be gone when you buy the house, that if it's not attached to the floor, that it's written on the contract. I think I mentioned light fixtures. Those are things that you want to make sure are written in the contract. Another thing that's kind of new that's been a dispute are smart home devices and like a smart thermostat. Sometimes people will switch that out, or Ring doorbells or ones like it, and security systems. Those are things that you may think might be included in the house, but the seller may be thinking they're not. So make sure everything's very clear in the contract. If you want those things included, that's fine. Just put it down, write it in the contract, and make sure everybody agrees. Because those are some of the kind of things that lately have been in dispute, because there's more and more of these smart home things. And Are they personal property or are they part of the house? Well, it depends on what the contract says. So I just want to give you that advice because things that are included in the house, sometimes it's a little gray area to people. And a couple other things that I wanted to mention to you. You're going to take your televisions usually if you're a seller, but if it's hanging on the wall, the mount for it, the metal thing that it bolts to, that should stay because that is bolted to the house. So you can take the TV, but you have to leave the mount. Or if you do take the mount, make sure it's in the contract that it's not included in the sale of the house if you're the seller. So anyway, that's my advice on that. I hope it was helpful to you, and I hope it saves you from getting in a fight later on in life. Well, Pat and I are always very careful about these kind of things, and we think you should be too. So have a good day. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions at all, just ask. We'll tell you anything you want to know. We put humans over houses. That's not just a slogan for us. That's how we do business. So again, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.